In a watershed moment earlier this year, Masoud Pezeshkian, president of Islamic Republic of Iran, and Vladimir Putin, president of Russian Federation, formally inked the Iranian-Russian Treaty on Comprehensive Strategic Partnership on 17 January 2025. The accord in force since 2 October 2025 marks a deliberate shift in global alignments, driven by shared pressures from Western sanctions and a mutual interest in recalibrating power dynamics in Eurasia. Described by officials from both capitals as a new chapter in bilateral relations, the 20-year partnership spans trade, energy, defense, cybersecurity, intelligence sharing, and more. Analysts note it falls short of a full mutual defence pact, but nonetheless establishes a framework for sustained strategic cooperation. A recent development signals further deepening of ties. On the 6th of December 2025, Iranian state media reported that Tehran and Moscow signed a fresh cooperation agreement focused on artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. On the Iranian side, the current government under President Pezeshkian dates from 28 July 2024, after a hotly contested election and subsequent endorsement by Iran's Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader. The defence portfolio rests with Aziz Nasirzadeh, appointed Minister of Defence in August 2024. The Moscow-Tehran alliance presents a serious challenge to US influence in the Middle East and beyond. The recent security pact enables Russia and Iran to circumvent Western sanctions through trade, energy cooperation, and financial coordination, a dynamic that could significantly undercut Western leverage. From the Russian perspective, the alliance offers strategic value. Iran provides Moscow with a foothold in the Persian Gulf, a region critical for global energy flows and maritime routes. For Iran, the deal promises access to advanced military hardware, as well as technology in AI and cybersecurity, all increasingly important in modern warfare. Moscow's calculus, however, appears controlled. Despite vocal support for Tehran on multiple fronts, Russia has demonstrated a cautious stance, especially when conflict risk threatens to escalate into a full-blown war. On 19 June 2025, the Russian Foreign Ministry publicly warned the United States against military intervention in Iran, cautioning that any such step would carry unpredictable negative consequences. Even as the two capitals deepen strategic ties, their cooperation appears pragmatic and transactional, not a binding military alliance. The backdrop to this emerging axis is the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel and the potential for regional escalation. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Iran has signaled readiness to widen the conflict if Israel targets key allies such as Hezbollah. Amid the tensions, Tehran has bolstered its military posture. On the 5th of December 2025, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC Navy carried out a 2-day drill in the Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, firing ballistic and cruise missiles at simulated targets alongside drone strikes on mock enemy bases. The exercise featured use of advanced systems, including missile models Qaeda-110, Qaeda-380, Qaeda-360, and a large volley of 303 ballistic missiles. State media described the drills as a demonstration of Iran's readiness and resolve to defend against external threats. These maneuvers come in the aftermath of a war earlier in 2025 between Israel and Iran. Though details remain murky, the conflict reportedly resulted in significant casualties on both sides. Observers interpret Iran's missile drills not only as defensive signaling, but as a broader message. Tehran aims to show that any attack on its soil or proxies would come at a steep cost, and that it now has the backing of a powerful partner in Moscow. The emerging Iran-Russia axis and renewed Iranian military activity have deeply unsettled Western capitals. From Washington's perspective, the strategic pact not only strengthens Tehran's hand, but also furnishes Russia with a regional ally capable of undermining US and NATO influence in the Middle East and Eurasia. US officials have previously expressed concern over suspected transfers of missile technology from Iran to Russia, a point of diplomatic tension and one of the drivers behind renewed sanctions. Meanwhile, Russia's own public statements illustrate a more cautious calculus. While Moscow has positioned itself as a diplomatic defender of Iran's sovereignty, it has stopped short of pledging to intervene militarily in the event of a wider regional war. Analysts note that this blend of strong strategic cooperation without explicit mutual defense commitments may give Russia the strategic flexibility it needs, a stable alliance with Tehran without the obligation to fight Iran's wars should its adversary strike. During the signing of the 2025 treaty, Iranian and Russian leaders used language heavy with symbolism. President Pezeshkian described the partnership as a true breakthrough aimed at creating the necessary conditions for the stable and sustainable development of Russia and Iran and our entire Eurasian region. In recent remarks, Iran has also underscored its reliance on Russian cooperation to resist Western pressure. Meanwhile, Moscow has framed its stance as one of geopolitical balance, resisting unilateral Western dominance while avoiding commitments that could drag it into open conflict. The newly signed AI and cybersecurity agreement between the two states suggests their alliance is evolving beyond traditional energy and military realms, adapting to the technological battlegrounds of the 21st century. The confluence of factors, a formal long-term treaty, deepening military and technological cooperation, and Iran's visible militarization points toward a new era in Middle East geopolitics. Some of the implications I note: with Iran and Russia embedding economic, energy and cyber ties, sanctions may become less effective as leverage. Shifting balance of power, the alliance gives Tehran a more secure strategic posture for Moscow. It extends influence into the Persian Gulf, a traditional sphere of Western, especially US, maritime dominance. As Iran continues drills and possible direct confrontations with Israel loom, Russia's ambivalent but supportive stance may embolden Tehran, but also raises the risk of miscalculation or wider conflict. Technological competition, cooperation on AI and cyber could change the nature of future conflict, potentially enabling advanced missile guidance, coming electronic warfare, or cyber-enabled sabotage. Masoud Pezeshkian assumed office on 28 July 2024 following the 2024 election. Aziz Nasirzadeh took over as Iran's Minister of Defense in August 2024. The new partnership treaty was ratified through both Iran's and Russia's legislative bodies, underscoring its official and binding character. What began as a tacit anti-Western alignment has matured into a formal strategic alliance between two of Eurasia's most significant powers. As Iran and Russia deepen ties militarily, economically, technologically, they present a formidable challenge to existing global power structures. For the United States and its allies, the new architecture complicates efforts to isolate Tehran, destabilizes long-held strategic assumptions in the Middle East, and raises the stakes of any military or diplomatic confrontation. This alliance carries risks not just for regional actors, but for global stability. As Iran's war with Israel simmers and Russia seeks new avenues of influence, the world may be entering a dangerous phase of multipolar rivalry, one where deterrence is fragile and the threshold for escalation is perilously low.